the 2020 John Reid Shield Grand Final for the Australian Open Men's National Championships. Coaches have had their meeting. We are about to have the team announcements. We are just about ready to go. New South Wales winning this morning's preliminary final against Queensland 4 runs to 1. And the ACT will be the home team batting second. They also beat Queensland to make the grand final in a 4-inning demolition, 10 runs to 0. Just moments away from the start of the grand final. The players are about to be announced, and we might hand it over to the field announcers.
First base, David Casey. Second base, Jason Carter. Third base, Damien McCauley. Left field, Claire Austin. Right field, Trevor Murphy. Our support team, statisticians and technology. We have official statisticians Rachel Needham, Chris Bailey is technology, assistant statistician Pam Saunderson, and assistant is Fiona Herbert. Please be outstanding for national anthem.
Always gets a tingle down your spine when you hear the Australian national anthem before the start of a big sporting event, and that's what we've got on our hands here today. The 2020 John Reid Shield Grand Final between New South Wales and ACT. James Harris here on the mic, joined by Dylan Crisp. G'day, Dylan.
How you going, James?
Very well, mate, and a massive clash about to get underway between these two heavyweights of men's softball. Have you seen much of the action during the week, Dylan? And who is your tip for the game?
I've seen a little bit of the action through the week, especially on the live stream. It's great to see Softball Australia posting this on Facebook and YouTube. For this game, you know, New South Wales got to use the sticks here because with the pitching of Adam Folkard on the mound, it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, Adam was back and forth from Canberra after the tournament was shifted from Hawker because of the quality of air. He did have to stay back and do a little bit of work, so he's been back and forth throughout the week. It doesn't look like it's affected him too much. His ERA is 1.5, which is elite with 3 wins and the 18 innings pitched for just 6 hits.
That is massive coming from it, but it is what you'd expect from a pitcher of this calibre. 6 hits in a total of 18 innings. It's just, it's phenomenal, really.
All right, well, let's go through the ACT defensive lineup. Adam Folkard is pitching to Josh McGovern, Josh White at first base, Matt Harrow at second, Evan Byrne at shortstop, and Nick Norton at third. The outfield is Bolton Nussbaum, Matthew Wickham, and at right field is Jared Bradbury. Pretty formidable lineup.
It is actually. I think New South Wales is going to have a bit of a tough game on their hands with this lineup. It's pretty strong all the way from 1 to 9. So it'd be a good game we're going to see here today.
From the 8 games they played, they just gave up the 28 runs, 22 of them earned. New South Wales are probably going to have to score 5 or 6 to be competitive against this hitting lineup.
Exactly. We saw what ACT did in the game against Queensland the other night, putting on those that quite large number of runs in the first innings. So we're going to have to see New South come off to a good start here to try and quieten down this ACT team.
All right, well, we are just about to get underway for the 2020 John Reid Shield Grand Final. And leading off for New South Wales is Hayden Matthews. He will be playing centre field and wearing the number 90 uniform. Lee Evans behind the plate to call the action. He calls play. And Adam Folkard will be into his motion. And for the first pitch of the ball game, it is down and in for a ball. The other umpires around the diamond, David Casey, Jason Carter, Damien McCauley, and the outfield umpires, Claire Ostring and Trevor Murphy. Folkard up and ball 2. I think very important for Hayden Matthews to get off to a good start. He's probably down on numbers so far in this tournament, only hitting the 160. Although Coach Ryan Flesch putting his faith in the Aussie Steelers representative up the top of the order, and will go to a 3-0 count.
It's good that they're seeing a lot of pitches here because as a leadoff hitter, you want to make sure you see as much as you can so that the rest of the lineup can see what the pitcher's throwing.
Coach Rhineflesh will be very happy that he's seen some pitches. That one is fired in there for a called strike. 3-1 now the count. We'll keep our eye on the radar as the match progresses. That one just a lazy 126 Ks.
Lazy one. He's been tickling that 130 mark, so let's see if he can, boss that through.
Pop up from Hayden Matthews out to right field. Jared Bradbury calls out second base player Matthew Harrow for the first out. A fly ball to right field.
I think he just got underneath that one a little bit, popped it straight up. Jared Bradbury located himself nicely underneath the ball and takes that catch rather easily.
Did you see how much support he had as well? Matt Harrow was pushing back, and also Matt Wickham from centrefield made up some ground here. Here we go. Peter Wards, have a look at this infield for ACT. Matt Harrow, the second base, right in next to pitcher Folkard. Norton is sitting just off the bat.
Yeah, it is. It's obviously they've scouted Pete Wards well here, all tournament, doing well with the short game, with the bunts, the running bunts and the running slaps. So obviously they've scouted him well here and trying to defend what Pete Wards brings to the plate here.
Had a couple of hits earlier on in the day against Queensland. Fouls the first one off, 133 Ks. That one, he waves at a little, but leaves it on the outside edge. Third base umpire Damien McCauley says no, he did not swing. 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss on that one for 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Now, Peter Wards is leading the New South Wales averages for the week, batting .450. Pretty good story.
It is. Pete Wards actually retired after New South Wales won last in 2018. Comes out of retirement this year for the Blue Bloods here, and is just absolutely hitting up a storm, topping the averages.
We'll go down swinging for the second out. So good pitching from Adam Folkard, finding the one area of weakness perhaps for Peter Wards. We'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Callum Beashall. Beashall having a terrific tournament, hitting .333, and a teammate of Folkard's for the annual Canberra Skins tournament. Had a couple of years of off softball, didn't he, with a bit of a shoulder injury. Was known as a pitcher in his junior days, but always handy with the bat.
Yeah, ever since Calton's been a young kid, he's always been one of those athletes that just you were scared to come up against, whether he's pitching or hitting. There's a couple of years off with that shoulder injury, but you can see that he's come back in the last couple of years, obviously representing the Aussie Steelers and playing well through his national and state representative career.
1-1 the count. Swing and a miss for Beashall on the, looked like a change of pace, but at 114. I can't throw my fastball at 114.
20 Ks off his fastest pitch, man. That's a good change-up.
Beashall line drive straight back to Folkard, who was handcuffed it, touched the glove. He'll be disappointed that he couldn't hold on to it, and rolls away, and second base player Matt Harrow tries to make a play, but it is Beashall safely aboard with an infield single.
Beashall's got the wheels there, and it's good to see a bit of enthusiasm from first base coach there, Scott Rhineflesh, with a bit of a hand pump. He's get safe at first. Folkard just unlucky there on that one. Was quite a hot shot back to him. As you said, James, he will be quite disappointed that he didn't hold on to that one.
James Todhunter, now the new hitter for New South Wales. We'll watch this one outside for a ball. Another teammate of Adam Folkard's from his pro ball team in the States, Hill United, James Todhunter. All these guys quite privileged to play alongside the big man.
He's quite I'd love to play alongside him. It'd be a good team to play for, especially with the world's #1 pitcher playing alongside you. Throwing in the high, in the 130s.
Todhunter has a look at that one. It is a called strike. Just double checking with the plate umpire to make sure that was just the bottom of the zone. Todhunter hitting a respectable 316 on the tournament, and throughout this final series he's been tough batter to throw to. He's picked up a few walks last night against Victoria. and was a contributor earlier this morning against Queensland.
Oh, watches that third strike there. Just asked the umpire where that was. May not have liked the where that was, but anyway, ACT get out of that one. Folkard throwing well. Some great calling there behind the plate by Josh McGovern. Sees him out of the innings and bringing New South Wales into the field now.
Well, just the 4 batters for New South Wales, with Callum Beashall reaching on an infield single, a hard shot straight back at pitcher Adam Folkard. And in the change of innings, we can go through the defensive lineup for New South Wales. Harrison Peters pitching to Josh Bond, Peter Wards at first, and James Todd Hunter at second base. Mitchell Brownlow at third and Ryan King at shortstop. The outfielders Lockie Hay, Hayden Matthews and Callum Beashall. Now, Harrison Peters threw all but 2 innings last night against Victoria. He threw all 7 innings this morning against Queensland. Will he be able to go the distance this afternoon against ACT?
Look, I think he'll be tired, but back when he plays his club ball and his representative ball here in New South Wales, he does throw a lot of innings and does throw a lot. So I think we'll have to see how he goes in the start of the innings here. If he can get on top of ACT pretty early, we'll see him go a few, but we may see Coach Rhineflesh go to the bullpen if he does get hit quite early.
They've got handy replacements in the bullpen, 2 lefties, Bradley Kilpatrick and Nathan Dickinson, both former Junior Aussie Steelers representatives. Harry Peters, before today, had 29 innings for 50 strikeouts with an ERA of 0.716. That is elite, probably even tournament-leading numbers.
Oh, that's massive. And it'd be handy for Coach Rhineflesh having that, that tool in his back pocket, to throw your starting pitcher out there in the final with 50 K2s. That's massive.
He's already up at 131 Ks an hour, so he's matching Folkard for speed. Leading off for the ACT is Josh White. Josh White has got some handy numbers, hitting 389 on the tournament, but 654 on base average.
2 strikes, 1 ball.
One ball and 2 strikes. This one high and out of the zone for a 2-2 count. Have a look at these stands, Dylan. Absolutely packed house today.
Oh, it's great to see so many people out here at Blacktown International Sports Park supporting this event here. It's great. Unfortunately, the under-14s had to move venues, but they've all come out here to watch the final. See lots of kids here. Lots of faces that we'll probably see at this event in the next 10 years.
Full count on Josh White. Chops this one down. It's going to go fair, and a tag out made by Peter Wards. He would have been on 2 minds whether or not to leave it, to let it go foul, but he was able to gather the ball and make a tag on the run as Josh White was attempting to evade.
I think there, if because he looked up and saw Josh White still in front of him, he made the play on that, but maybe if Josh White had already gotten past him, he might have left that and trying to wait for it to go foul.
Well, talk about averages. Josh McGovern up to bat now with a 429 batting average, but on base of 739. He's had 5 walks, 4 hit by pitch to go along with 6 hits on the tournament. Very impressive on-base numbers. But to go along with that, he's hit 10 RBIs. So a great contribution from Josh McGovern in this tournament.
I played with Josh at the New South Wales State League competition. I played for the United team, and he's quite a hard hitter to throw to. Most of the times the pitchers and catchers calling out of his zone to make sure he can't get onto anything. But it looks like New South Wales have done their homework, getting on top of McGovern here quite early.
The one looks pretty close as well, but McGovern good enough to leave that one alone. He is known to take a pitch if it's up and in, so he wears that elbow guard for a reason there, McGovern, as he gets a piece of this ball and goes opposite field. Peter Wards gets across to complete the out made by James Todhunter. So 2 out now for the ACT. Brings up the big man, Andrew Kirkpatrick. His numbers aren't too bad either for just your average softball player. Might consider him down for his own numbers, for his own lofty standards, as you would say, hitting 300 with a 455 on base average. He has still got it, the big man.
Well, it's great to see Cheese, as he's known as, come into the box here, Kirkpatrick, and he is quite a batter that, especially when I play first base and I come up against him, I do take those couple of steps back waiting for that line drive down the line.
Well, you're not expecting a bun, are you?
No, definitely not. Maybe that's a clue for them.
Well, with the infielders deep, you never know. We may see that if it's required later in the game, but you would never doubt the abilities of this man. He's had a massive career. His 20th Open Men's National Championship, debuting in 2001 when he represented the Aussie under-19 team. A ground ball to James Todhunter. And looked like both players just took the foot off the accelerator once they saw that the ball was safely in the glove of James Todhunter. Cheesy just held back on running through the base, and James Todhunter pulled back on the throw.
Yeah, you know, when you get into that situation as a fielder, you don't want to make the mistake, and as a hitter, you don't want to exert too much that you do end up injuring yourself. James Todhunter does take that on a nice hop, pulling the ball into himself, and then make them play at one. So it's great to see both teams playing well defensively here.
Yeah, great defense from both sides. Just to recap that innings, Josh White was the first to be called out on the tag by Peter Wards, and then a ground ball to James Todhunter for the next 2 plays, Josh McGovern and Andrew Kirkpatrick. So 3 up, 3 down in the first inning for ACT. New South Wales had the 4 batters, 2 strikeouts to Folkard. And we're going to go to the number 5 hitter for New South Wales, and that is Liam O'Leary. Now, I mentioned it earlier today, his numbers don't look massive. He did get another hit earlier today to have his 4th hit for the tournament, and that's not the impressive part of his stats. The impressive part was 12 walks and an on-base average of 552.
Obviously, being that power hitter from the left-hand side, not a lot of teams giving him much to hit. So great plate discipline there from O'Leary with those 12 walks. It's great to see, and I know that Coach Ryan Flesh will be putting his faith in him there to try and get on base here in the top of the second.
Well, leading off the top of the second is O'Leary. A big swing and a miss on that pitch. So he'll go to 1 ball and 1 strike. Folkard testing O'Leary on that one that was down and in. This one up and in, and he just pops up to first base player Josh White for the first out of the second inning. So good aggressive pitching from Adam Folkard. And the first out is made. Lockie Hay coming up to bat, had a big hit last night in the game against Victoria, a home run, and contributed earlier today as well with a 2 RBI single that put the game beyond reach for Queensland in the 3rd inning. Dylan, I've seen Coach Ryan Flesh put a lot of bunt signals on Lockie Hay. Oh, great piece of the ball opposite field. That's going to go the journey. A home run to open the account for New South Wales off the bat of Lachlan Hay. A solo home run and a no-doubter off the bat.
Yeah, as you said, you and Jared said last night, he's quite a large human. Anything in the zone, he's going to put deep into the field. And it's great there to see New South Wales start the account here in the top of the second with that solo shot.
Powerful man, Lockie Hay. The ball has come back a little wet, and they're going to ask for a new one as Josh McGovern looking to throw that one away. Maybe even Lockie's put a dent in that ball.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me with how hard he hit that one. Got out quickly.
First run of the ball game to New South Wales, courtesy of Lachlan Hay. See how Folkard responds. Fires the first one in there for a called strike. Maybe it went too quickly. It didn't register on the radar. Mitchell Brownlow, the hitter. Last year's MVP of the Open Men's National Championship, Mitchell Brownlow, hitting 273 this tournament. And earlier today had a double in the second innings and was the second run of the game. Gee, that was a check, almost trying to evade the pitch that was up. A change up at 113 Ks. He took his eye off the ball, so pretty lucky that it hit the bat.
Yeah, it was. He got out of that way quickly. And as you said before, Mitch Brownlow, the reigning MVP from last year, and he does it all from the 7-hole. It's not, you know, it's you don't usually see hitters hitting that well down the bottom of the lineup, but they put him back in his spot that he loves to hit, that 7-hole, and let's see if he can get another run on base here for New South Wales.
Well, it shows just how deep the New South Wales batting lineup goes when you've got Mitchell Brownlow batting 7. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and this one is lifted foul, and the count will remain at 2-2. So Adam, around that 130 mark, he's known for, you know, probably the younger days when he was around the 140, and he's still absolutely elite. But a little more able to be hit now that he's dropped a few Ks per hour down to about 130. But sometimes they say the older you get, the better you get.
Oh, with that one, even dropping down to that 130, that movement now that he's gotten, it's massive. That rise ball still pops hard. And that curveball going across the plate, the changeup comes out of nowhere. So he still has a lot of tools in his shed, even though that speed has dropped. And he's showing it here with keeping New South Wales pretty quiet in the first, and you know, even just the one hit.
Mitchell Brownlow, it's almost an identical shot from Lockie Hay, back-to-back home runs, a solo shot opposite field. He took a ball that was a little up and out of the zone and drove it opposite for the second run of the game. Back-to-back solo home runs for New South Wales.
I think I might have put the Mozzo a little bit there on Folkard with that one, but you know, 2 great hitters in the New South Wales lineup, but they are hard to throw to, both of them.
Hitters 6 and 7 going back-to-back home runs. Both opposite field to right field. 2 runs on the board for New South Wales here in the second inning. Well, Ryan King, swing and a miss at that first one, which was out of the zone, so plate discipline here is important for Ryan King if he's going to be able to go deep in a count against Folkard. Watches this one through for a called strike, so probably swung for the wrong pitch.
Yeah, it really did. And behind the plate there, Josh McGovern is quite a smart catcher, so if you're going to go at something, he will remember that and come back to it later.
And 3 pitches for 3 strikes. Ryan King's 2 swings were pitches out of the zone. And New South Wales will now go to their number 9 hitter, Josh Bond, member of the World Championship gold medal winning team for the Junior Steelers in 2018. Handy left-handed batter, batting at 9.
Yeah, he is. Josh usually likes, when I've played against him, likes doing that little running slap, that pop over third base into that dead man spot that is quite hard to field. So will we see that here, or will we see him swinging away?
Yeah, with 2 out and no runners aboard, you might even think that the 89ers defense might be in a little bit. Josh Bond just puts the bat to the ball. It hits the fence on the full, and Jared Bradbury has work cut out for him to get it in. Quick, smart, but Josh Bond had the wheels on. Sliding into second base, so the 3rd hit of the inning is catcher Josh Bond. He'll come out for courtesy runner Mitchell Brownlow. ACT now having a chat because their last 3 of the last 4 hitters have got extra base hits. And well, I got to say, this wasn't in the script.
No, it really wasn't. You know, coming out, especially the last couple of years, ACT being so dominant, and usually the game gets decided quite late in the game. To see it this early is just great, and I think they might have to change up their game plan here. Look to me, very similar pitches on all those 3 hits there. I guess Falco's going to have to reach into that tool belt and see what he can pull out here.
Interestingly enough, that was Josh Bond's second hit for the tournament coming in the grand final. Excellent timing there from young Josh Bond. Hayden Matthews wants to get in on the act, but great defensive play on the backhand side from Matt Harrow. The action continues as Mitchell Brownlow doesn't break stride. He turns third and slides into home. Josh White thought that he had the play at first base, so he delayed the throw home, thinking the third out was made, but Hayden Matthews was quick enough. What a great backhand play, first of all, from Matt Harrow. Great wheels from Hayden Matthews. He didn't give up on that. And then great base running from Mitchell Brownlow to turn third, slide in and score the third run of the inning.
Oh, as you said, James, great play there from Matthew Harrow. You know, to lay out and get that up the middle, one of, you know, the hard balls to field. And then to make the play, just missing that one. White wasn't happy there at first base, thinking that he got him. Then to try to get the double play at home, you know, it's just unfortunate there.
Infield in again for Peter Wards and the short play. Matt Harrow even looks one or two steps up the middle, doesn't he, to defend that little slap hit that Peter Wards does so well.
Yeah, we've got to see Wards going to his strengths here. As I said, obviously ACT done their homework against Peter Wards and seeing where they need to position that field to try and stop that game plan.
Peter Wards, swing and a foul ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. 4 hits in the inning, 3 runs by New South Wales. But you'll never count out the 89ers. They've won 27 of the last 30 national championships. Of course, I'm exaggerating. I think it's about 11 or 12 of the last 15.
It is quite, you know, it's such a dynasty here from the ACT team, dominant for so long. But I guess, you know, having the best players in the world does help that.
Chops at that one and gets enough of the bat on it to go foul. Hayden Matthews didn't really get too much of a jump there. He does have wheels, so it wouldn't be surprising at all to see an aggressive base running here, considering that the infield is in and they're defending a slap.
Exactly, and you want to keep the momentum here in New South Wales' favour. You know, the pressure's now on ACT to try and get out of this innings, and New South Wales want to take advantage of that. But great pitching there for Adam Folkard, gets him out of the innings. We go to the bottom of the second.
Yeah, swing and a miss for Peter Wards. He was disappointed on that one, probably expecting a rise ball on a 2-2 count, but he got the down ball and was definitely over the top of that on the swing. Folkard still had 2 strikeouts on the inning to go to 4. Getting Peter Wards, New South Wales best hitter of the tournament, on 2 strikeouts. So perhaps that defensive move is in the back of Wards' mind and taking him off his swing.
Yeah, exactly. As you know, if they're pushing fielders into your strength, there's obviously it's going to be in the back of your mind, making sure you place that ball into a part of the field that's not going to hit a fielder. Definitely would be playing in the back of his head and affecting his hitting here.
Well, 3 runs put on the inning for New South Wales. We saw some great hitting, we saw some aggressive base running, and if ACT are going to get back in the game, they will have to play what I would consider their natural game, which is also aggressive hitting and base running. Andrew Kirkpatrick, who is their head coach, won't hit any panic buttons at the moment. It is only the bottom of the second inning, and ACT have put on a bunch of runs in this tournament. 73 in just 8 games.
Yeah, as you said, they will go back to their normal game here. Never count ACT out here at the Open Men's Nationals, because as we saw last night, can pile on runs pretty quickly if they get a roll on. So the New South Wales lineup here will have to keep tight to try and keep these bats at bay.
What makes them so good is when a team puts a run on them, they'll respond and put 2 on them in the next inning.
Yeah, exactly. So we could see, you know, ACT come back here with a couple of runs to try and put them back in, you know, keep them even closer in this game. They are a tough team to come up against, always staying well in the fight.
Well, standing is in their way is someone that they wouldn't have faced in this tournament so far, and that is Harrison Peters. They only played New South Wales the once in the tournament, and there we go with a shot out to right field from Nick Norton. It does go over the fence, but in foul territory, so perhaps a life for New South Wales.
I know Nick Norton probably would have been trying to blow that one back in there. Did look like to me it might have curved around the pole, but great eyes there from the home plate umpire calling that foul.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Nick Norton with great hands is able to extend the arms and make good contact with the ball more often than not, hitting the middle of the bat. He's hitting .304 for the tournament with 7 hits, 9 RBIs. Has an open stance at the back of the box, leaves that one alone downstairs, and the count goes full. The speed's not going to affect Norton, neither is the movement, because he catches to 2 of the best pitchers in the world. Would have spent some time catching with Harrison Peters with the Aussie Steelers team as well, and gets himself a walk. So I've often seen a very long foul ball hit and then the batter will get struck out or rung up on a bad pitch. So good turn at bat from Norton.
Norton's a great hitter. He always seems very calm in the box, never gets flustered, and just takes each pitch as it comes.
It's always important for the leadoff to get on base. That's exactly what he's done here in the bottom of the second. So professional turn at bat from Norton to get himself on, but this will bring up the team leading Evan Byrne. He's hitting .444 for the tournament with a .619 on-base average, 8 hits and 5 RBIs. He's got a good eye as well. He's had 3 walks, and he's got some wheels. He's stolen twice. We'll see a bunt if they're chasing 3, or looks like he's swinging away. He's got 2 strikes.
Yeah, you know, even though ACT do play a good short game, they'll probably stick to their strengths here, which is trying to hit that ball and put that ball in play, putting pressure on the New South Wales field. We'll see if it pays off.
Crowd continuing to build. Timeout has been called. Todd Hunter just having a word to Peters, and plate umpire Lee Evans just coming out to double check what's going on out there. What are you doing tonight? Yeah, hopefully having a few drinks. And Lee Evans said, me too. And we'll get back to the action. Evan Byrne behind the count here, 0-2. That one's in there for a called strike, so Evan Byrne will go down without a fight. And the first out for ACT in the bottom of the second inning. Nick Norton hasn't moved from first base. Matthew Wickham, the new hitter.
As you were saying before, James, about the crowd, it's great to see so many people out here, but it's also to see so many greats out here. I've seen the likes of Gary Johnson out here. I'm pretty sure I saw Jeff Goolagong out here before. And so many greats of the game out here to watch and sticking around softball. And once they retire, they're still putting in.
It's a great game to watch, a spectator sport. And Matthew Wickham is the new hitter for ACT, right up the front of the box, and doesn't hold back on his swings. He's had a very good tournament, 8 hits, 4 of them home runs, so he has 8 RBIs to go with those 4 home runs, 364 batting average, 391 on base. Will not die wondering, Matthew Wickham.
No, he will not. Always goes in there swinging hard, trying to make contact with that ball. Even there with that swing there, you saw quite a hard swing. Just Harry Peters getting that below his bat and doing well there.
Will retire Wickham on 3 pitches. So a second strikeout in a row for Harry Peters, and Matt Harrow now the new batter. Chops at this one, goes foul. Fielding done by third base coach Andrew Patrick. So 2 strikeouts in the game for Harry Peters. Matt Harrow in the 7th spot. That one down and in for a ball, 1-1 now the count. Famous name in softball?
Oh, it is a famous name in softball. Harrow's having quite a name, not only in the Australian scene but also the international scene. So, is that a lot to live up to?
Well, he's doing pretty well for just 18, 19 years of age. been to a junior men's worlds, a world champion in 2018, and he's a national championship winner with the ACT 89ers, swing and a miss on that one. And also went into coaching this year with the ACT under 18 men's.
It's good to see that these players are giving back and coaching. I went away with Pete Wards this year in the under-16 boys for New South Wales, and we see him here the next week playing first base here in the final. So it's great to see these players putting back in and giving so much back to the sport that's given them so much.
You'd say all the teams that played this week, all their head coaches have been past open men's state representatives for their state. We might touch on that in a moment as Harrison Peters strikes out the side. 3 consecutive strikeouts to deny the ACT, and they consolidate their 3 runs earlier in the inning. A lead-off walk to Nick Norton, and then 3 strikeouts in a row for Harrison Peters on Byrne, Wickham and Harrow to end the second inning. Well, Dylan Crisp, thank you for joining me here in the commentary for the live stream of the 2020 John Reid Shield Grand Final. We are at the Blacktown International Sports Park, and with the amount of rain that we've had over the last 48 hours or so, it is an absolute credit to the team at the Blacktown City Council to get the Diamonds back up and running in time to play finals. We did lose a few games in the minor round, so we only played a single round draw, and it was a hotly contested national championships. I'm not sure if I've seen one that close before. There were 4 teams on 2 wins and 3 losses at the end of the first round, so a couple of unlucky losers there.
It was, and it's great to see it's not being a two-team race here, and seeing that all the other states are pushing hard for that top spot.
Well, to get things going here in the third inning for New South Wales, Callum Beashall is up to bat. He hit a line drive straight back to Folkard for his first turn at bat. Just popped out of the glove. We're going to credit a hit to Beashall because it went like a rocket as he pulls this one to third base player Nick Norton. How quick were the hands on Norton? Reflex action to take the ball down the line on the backhand side and then fire it across to Josh White for the first out.
Yeah, did not even see that transfer there. So quick to get that ball over, because, you know, Beashall does have a lot of speed there down the line, so obviously trying to make that play pretty quickly and get the out at 1 there.
James Todhunter, the new hitter. So far in this final series, I think at least 3 walks last night against Victoria. He had a walk this morning against Queensland, and then earlier today he went deep in the count but was struck out eventually by Folkard. So again, taking a few pitches. He's seen 2 now, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Todd Hunter, always a formidable foe when he steps into the box. Great plate discipline, and does have a hot stick when he does hit that ball.
Chops at this one. Matt Harrow will take it on the second bounce, on the up as well. So a difficult play to make. So good glove work shown so far in this game from Matt Harrow. He made that good defensive play up the middle in the last inning. But he makes the play this time round, and 2 quick outs for New South Wales, bringing up the DP, Liam O'Leary. Called strike right down low on the outside edge. Do you think he was happy with that call?
No, I don't think so. A bit of a shake of the head there, but no choice to him. Umpire did call that a strike, so he's going to have to work with it now.
Leaves that one alone for a ball. 1-1 is the count.
1 strike, 1 ball.
A pop-up foul to Josh White for his first at-bat. Pulls this one. Hits the light tower on the way through. Nearly knocks it down. He hit it that hard.
Big swing there from O'Leary. He's not one to say he doesn't have a lot of power there with that swing, and leaves it all at the plate with that swing as well.
I don't think we'll see that pitch again. Adam doesn't like that ball. Wants a new one from plate umpire Lee Evans. I can see Liam's mum in the crowd there, Liza O'Leary, a fine coach with the Thoroughbreds Club.
Yes, I've played against Liza teams for a long time and is quite a formidable coach, and I know that she'll be here, well, she is here, watching her two boys here play for New South Wales with a lot of pride.
I'm sure she'll claim a number of players from around the states, including quite a number of them in this New South Wales team. Now, I was mentioning before about the head coaches being former state representatives themselves. Obviously, Adam Rhineflesh for New South Wales, Andrew Kirkpatrick's a playing coach, as was Jared Farrell for SA, Dave Metakingi, Neil Del Perro for WA, so Dave Metakingi for Queensland, Neil Del Perro. Every single one of them a former Aussie Steelers representative.
Yes, obviously a lot of talent from around the States, and it's great to see them coming back to coach and putting that knowledge and those skills back into our younger players, and our players still coming through here at the men's titles.
Liam O'Leary will get another walk in this tournament. On the full count, it was pretty close, but above the strike zone. And New South Wales have a runner aboard in the top of the third inning. There is 2 outs. But up to bat now for New South Wales is the first of 2 home run hitters, Lachlan Hay.
I think for these next 2 hitters, Lachlan Hay and Mitchell Brownlow, I think I would have to call them the Bash Brothers. They play outside of this this competition here together as well, but going back-to-back home runs, both of them, you know, it's got to be called the Bash Brothers.
Well, I think he'll be looking for that low lifter to drive opposite field, just as he had earlier in the game. As a matter of fact, it was last inning. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. He's very patient, so he sits on that one pitch that he wants to drive. Can also pull the ball, setting up high and outside. That was off the plate. You've mentioned plate discipline already today, and this man has it in spades.
Yes, we'll see what Lachlan Hay does here. Will Falkar keep this ball away from him, or will he come and try and challenge him in a different spot to he's thrown to him all game?
This one is up in his wheelhouse, but he's popped it up to centre field. Matt Wickham gets himself under it to take it comfortably in the end for a fly ball to centre field. Just the 4 batters faced in the inning. Infield grounders to beat Todd Hunter. A walk to Liam O'Leary, and then a fly to centre field to end the inning. The third inning, it's been all New South Wales so far. They've denied ACT in defence. They put 3 runs on the board, courtesy of some long ball hitting, 2 home runs and a double for the bottom of the order in the New South Wales batting lineup. ACT with a little bit of work to do. Mentioned it earlier, they won't hit the panic buttons just yet. And standing in their way is the man with the ball, and on the moment, Harrison Peters. No more strikeouts to add to the tally for Falkard in that inning, so he remains on for Harry Peters with the 3. Bolton Nussbaum is batting 8 for the ACT. What do we know about Bolton? Part of the Junior Aussie Steelers national World Championship winning team from about 18 months ago, and sitting 4th in the batting averages for the ACT with 6 hits, 400 with a 579 on base average. Pretty good numbers for young Bolton.
Great numbers there, and it's good to see that these players still rolling through after, you know, their representative career. Bit of a ground ball there to Mitchell Brownlow. Picks it up cleanly, throws over to first base, Peter Wards, and does get the first out there here in the bottom of the third.
You see how Bolton ran down the line there. He didn't use the tram lines at all, and moved across onto the yellow base right before, 1 step before he was getting there. Is there some tactic involved in that, or is it just too much risk if you do collide with the field?
Well, I think the tactic there is to...
Or just a bobble hit here from Bradbury will drop over the top of Tunhunter, who went barehanded rather than going with the glove. And ACT with a runner aboard.
Anything to try and make that catch there. Just before on Nussbaum, I think the ploy there is to try and freak the first base out because you're coming down the line straight at them, and that last minute do cut across to try and put that pressure on. But obviously it doesn't work there, and the ice in the veins from Peter Wards makes the out.
All right, well, Jared Bradbury, who had an absolute ripper of a tournament last year, isn't up to his own standards, batting 217 for this tournament, but he gets his 6th hit of the tournament in the final, which is probably when you want to be getting your hits anyway. And we go back to the top of the order for the ACT and Josh White.
Looks like New South Wales sticking to a bit of a game plan here. Those first few pitches on Josh White were up in the zone, obviously trying to make him change that eye level and swing underneath the ball and pop that up. Josh White is quite a strong hitter here in the ACT lineup, obviously batting in the lead-off spot. Does hit with power and can put that ball around the field.
Well, Josh White has been very impressive yet again this tournament. Can he move Jared Bradbury around a swing and a miss for a 3-pitch strikeout to Harrison Peters, his 4th of the game. And Jared Bradbury was actually the first hit of the game for ACT. So they went through 9 batters for their first hit, which is probably under their best when they're hitting 300 as a team in this tournament. Josh McGovern is the new hitter. He had a ground out earlier in the game.
You know, obviously Harry Peters doing well here on the mound, dealing out those pitches, keeping the sticks of ACT down. Again, Josh McGovern showing some great plate discipline there to see him now. Oh, does take that one for a strike, but that won't worry him because he's still got 2 more to go. Let's see if he can get on base here and keep this innings rolling for ACT.
1-1 the count becomes 2-1. So McGovern patiently waiting for his pitch. He's, as we mentioned earlier in the game, he's had a fair few walks, sees a lot of pitches, so he can get after that one that he likes. Slight delay there. It looks a bit wet because the balls that have been put into the outfield have been taken out to be dried. As he pushes this ball opposite field, and James Todd Hunter will make the easy play over to first base for the 3rd out. And a second ground out for McGovern in the game. That inning had 4 batters for 2 infield grounders, a single to Jared Bradbury, and a 4th strikeout of the game for Harrison Peters. So if it wasn't for those 2 home runs, it'd be a much closer game, you'd say, because both pitchers have thrown the 4 strikeouts. We're about middle of the order for both teams. ACT with a few less base runners. They've had a walk and a single. But New South Wales have had 5 big hits and a base on balls. So they've been more productive in the batter's box. And coach Ryan Flesch just having a word to his hitter Mitchell Brownlow, and involved in that conversation was the second of your Bash brothers.
Yes, exactly. And we just saw also Coach Ryan Flesch called the team in after the 8 innings, had a bit of a chat to him. You know, I think he's just saying to the boys, you know, calm down. You know, let's not get complacent here. Yes, we are up by 3, but you know, we're finding that, you know, the last innings was a bit quick. So let's, you know, focus back in. Let's keep these hits rolling and let's put some more runs on.
Pitching stats on the scoreboard at the moment. Fastest pitch for both pitchers in the 130s, 133 for Folker, 131 for Peters, both with 4 strikeouts. Does it surprise you that they're both in the 130s, or is it an expectation for elite pitchers of Peters and Folker?
I think it's an expectation once we hit this level and seeing these guys being so dominant for so many years that they're up in that 130 mark. As you said earlier, Folker dropping off the Ks a little bit, you know, from his prime, but still up there in the low 130s, up there with the best of them.
I was talking to Harry's dad, Don Peters, the great Don Peters, earlier, and he was told that Harry got a pitch up to 135 this morning's game against Queensland.
That doesn't surprise me. Harry throwing that nice, hard down ball. Would not surprise me that he hit that kind of speed in the games here.
Would he still have it in him after throwing last night and this morning?
Look, he's still up there. You know, fastest pitch, 131. He's still around that mark. Maybe getting a little bit tired, but I still reckon he'll be up those low 130s all game here.
Now, if New South Wales extend their lead, will we see Folkard turn it up a notch?
Look, I think already, if you look at him, he's a bit more effort behind the pitches. He's going to have to turn it up here because, as you said earlier, he has dropped some speed, but I think also the reason why a lot of the hitters are getting onto him these days is because a lot of them play with him in the overseas tournaments. Back a few years ago, Folkard and some of the older players were only the ones to go and play overseas, and these younger players weren't, but now a lot more players are going over to the US to play and are seeing a lot more of him.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Aussie players head overseas to play after the Trailblazers of the ISCs. Some of the first players to go over, including, some of Australia's finest players, including Chris Kiefel and you could go back into the early 90s and you saw some absolutely fantastic players playing overseas and doing very well up to now, and we're up to 20 or 25 guys at a time going overseas to play now.
Yeah, exactly. If you look at these lineups, I'd say most of these boys do go away and play overseas from all the states. They having a chat to a few of the boys around Australia, they all pencil into their calendar and their work schedules to try and get that time off to go overseas because they want to stay at the top of their game and they need to go over and play some of the best players in the world to stay there.
Who could forget Shane King? He won a ISC title with Toronto. As this one has popped up from Mitchell Brownlow, Nick Norton camps himself under it and will complete the first out of the fourth inning. So Adam Folkard managing to not only split up the Bash brothers between innings, but he's got his man on both occasions. Ryan King faced 3 pitches in his first turn at bat. Watches that one down for a ball. Had a terrific double play in the early game this morning. And an injury to Kieran O'Leary has opened the door for Ryan King in his first Open Men's National Championship.
Yeah, New South Wales with a few younger players here, the likes of King, Kilpatrick, Lachlan Smith coming through, fresh out of the 19 straight into the Open Men's. Obviously their skill bringing them through. And as you said, the door opening for Ryan King with the injury to O'Leary has seen him play here.
Ryan King was part of the Junior Steelers World Championship side from 2018.
Pitching there, ball strike. 2 strikes, 1 ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on King. High, and Ryan King has a check swing at that one. They double check up the line with David Casey. No, he did not. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count now on King. Hard down and in for Folkard, but off the plate. Hard to believe that was only 129. It looked like it was heavy.
Yeah, Folkard throwing the heavy ball there, looking and sounding a lot quicker than it was, but still up there around the 130 mark. There we go. We see them go outside to King there. Josh McGovern taking that on the outside of the plate with a flash of the bat from King, and we see him go down on the strikes there.
Well, King's gone down on strikes twice in this game already. We've seen a fly ball to Nick Norton and a strikeout. This is Josh Bond up to bat. He smashed a double. His first turn at bat, it hit the fence on the fall, and that came in the inning that we saw 2 home runs to right field from New South Wales. This one buzzing past Bond's head. He takes the bat off the shoulders and just shifts the head back a little bit, like there was a little mosquito flying around it.
I think that if that came straight for his head, there wouldn't be enough time to get the way out of the way of that. That pitch, as you said, buzzing past his head. And we see Folkard go to the second pitch here now, going back to the same spot, but Josh Bond just leaving the bat in the way there.
Yeah, just tips it and on the check swing, and it goes foul. So a 1-1 count now on Bond. Already through the lineup twice now, New South Wales. We are in the top of the 4th inning. Hayden Matthews on deck for New South Wales. Folkard into his motion, and this one's way out of the zone. And McGovern didn't even try for that one. Just getting away from both pitcher and catcher. 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs on New South Wales catcher Josh Bond. That one was in there. for a called strike. So 2-2 with 2 out. Well, this is one of the keys for the 89ers. They've just got to be so tight in defence, not allowing New South Wales to score any more runs in the ball game if they're going to make any inroads into that 3-run lead. And Adam Folkard with another strikeout to end that New South Wales inning.
Are we seeing Folkard here take a little bit off the pitch? You said before, will he ramp it up? I think we're going to see him take a little bit off it, make that down ball dip a bit harder, that rise ball kick a bit more, and we'll see a lot more movement here from Folkard. As we've seen from that one innings of New South Wales there in the top of the second, he's kept him quiet through 2 more innings here now, obviously changing up their game plan and going to something different to try and keep this game close and not let New South Wales run away with it. You see Scott Rhineflesh out there, out in the mound, talking to Harry Peters while he warms up here, just making sure he goes through his little rituals as he pitches, making sure he's okay. Did come up a bit ginger last night in one of his pitches that he threw in the Victorian game. Probably just making sure that he feels nice and loose and right to keep going here. But they will have, as you said, those tools on the bench there, Dickens and Patrick ready to come in at any chance.
Yeah, he's a pro, Harry Peters. He will know his body better than anyone. He's been known to carry some injuries throughout his career and still get the job done. So he would have recovered last night. He would have recovered after this morning's game against Queensland, just so he could definitely make it through the remainder of this tournament, which is just one game, the biggest one of the tournament, the last game. And that is the John Reid Shield Grand Final. Well, Harrison Peters now is up against one of the biggest tests in the ACT lineup, Andrew Cheese-Kirkpatrick, who checks that one and leaves it alone for a second ball. Now, Cheesy doesn't walk very often, does he? He did have 2 walks on this tournament. More likely to get intentionally walked, because he does like to swing, and there he goes. He has a big cut on a hitter's count. 2 balls and 1 strike.
I think you're right there. Not many walks, but with such a tall person, he does have quite a big zone. So for a pitcher to miss that zone, it is quite hard, and just plays into Kirkpatrick's strengths with a lot of the pitches still being in his wheelhouse.
2-2 the count now on Kirkpatrick. Hands just up the handle a little bit. It makes a slight adjustment. It's going deep out to left field. Opposite field, home runs, the 3rd of the game. First for the ACT. And the captain coach, Andrew Kirkpatrick, gets his team going. A solo home run, reducing the gap to 2 and opening the account for the ACT 89ers.
Now, usually with a home run, pitcher's going to want to come back strong and strike the next batter out. But coming to the plate, uniform number 16, Nick Norton, that's going to be a very hard task there for Harry Peters.
Kirkpatrick with his 3rd home run of the tournament. Team leading 5 home runs is Nick Norton, hitting .304 and watching that one through for a ball. It was out of the zone, so probably not a bad pitch to throw, because if it was close, Norton could have ripped into that one and we would have seen back-to-back shots. But just being very careful here with Norton. Both of the first 2 pitches he's faced have been out of the zone. The second hit for ACT was a towering blast from Andrew Kirkpatrick.
You mentioned a name before there, James. Chris Kiefer was just written on the live stream. It's 2 words: can hit. I think that sums up there Andrew Kirkpatrick.
Can play, can pitch, and can coach. He's got a few titles under his belt as well. Last 2 ISC world titles. World Championship in 2009, and spearheaded the Australian Aussie Steelers lineup for a good 18 or 19 years. Nick Norton, ACT and Aussie Steelers teammate here, drills this one out to shortstop. Ryan King tries to backhand it, loses sight of it, but Nick Norton will be satisfied with a infield single to the backhand side of shortstop. if you were harsh scoring on that one, it was a pretty hard hit. You'd give Ryan King the error, but he did pretty well to get a glove to it.
Yeah, he did. Got to his backhand there. Just unfortunate that hard shot from Nick Norton there. And as we said earlier, don't count ACT out on this one because we're here in the bottom of the fourth now. One home run, next runner gets on. Could they start a roll on here?
Well, that's exactly what they've done here in the bottom of the fourth inning. There's none out. First two batters aboard, one of them already scoring, and a substitution. We do see Nick Norton come out of the game. Running is Nathan Lynch. Nathan Lynch has had a reasonable tournament himself. He's had 3 hits from 7 plate appearances, 750 on base average, including 5 walks, but they're using him in a pinch hitter role in this inning, which will see his game done, you would say, because Nick Norton will come back into the field next inning. Evan Byrne is the new hitter, and he's chased 2 bad pitches to go down 0-2.
It's good to see Lynch spreading himself across here ACT. He's here playing with the open men's. Pretty sure he played at the 18 men's, and he was coaching down at the 16 men's. So it's good to see these players stretching themselves across and doubling in their playing duties as well as their coaching duties.
Evan Byrne will go down swinging, and the first out of the fourth inning. So New South Wales will take a deep breath here, try to reset. They've got 1 out and a runner on first base. Another dangerous hitter coming up for the ACT in Matt Wickham.
Yeah, so we want to see, you know, with the runner on 1 here, we want to probably see some balls down in the zone, try and get Wickham to ground out into a double play here and get New South Wales out of this innings pretty quickly before any more damage can be done.
I have been keeping my eye on the scoreboard to see if the scorers have counted Norton's as a hit or an error, but hasn't registered just yet. So I'm still going to go with a hit for Norton, and we will see Matthew Wickham go to a 1-1 count. Dead ball as this one is fouled straight into the toe of Wickham, barely flinching. Tough unit, Matt Wickham.
Yeah, he is. Played against him down at the Skins tournament and could swing a bat pretty hard, putting a few shots out there, especially in the home run derby. Had a few shots in the home run derby along with some other players, so it'd be awesome to see here if he can keep ACT rolling through.
Well, I've seen an adjustment made for Wickham as he check swings that one, and umpire Casey says no, he didn't swing. We saw him right up the front of the box his first turn at bat. He's back now level with the plate. We did say he's not going to die wondering, so he has just backed off just a little bit. He's hit 4 home runs in the tournament so far, so he can hit a long ball. You mentioned his home run derby hitting prowess. He's done it again. He has fouled the ball into his own foot for a dead ball. Bit of a reaction this time.
Yeah, obviously that one hurt, you know, back into that ankle. A lot of players wear that leg guard to try and stop that. But quite a wide stance here for Wickham. Is that showing a lot of power or what there, James?
Well, some players have a step. Some players like to load. Some players, including Matt Wickham, have a very wide stance. Cuts the step out, so might be stopping him from stepping away from the plate. He'll go down looking on this occasion, not happy. Pats with himself because that pitch looked okay to me. And the second out is made for New South Wales in the bottom of the fourth inning. Runner still on first base. So pinch runner Lynch has not moved since he's come in, and there's been 2 batters since he has. Matt Harrow is the new hitter. Chops this one to the left side, goes foul. Surprised that we haven't seen any movement from the runner on first?
Yeah, usually ACT are quite aggressive on the bases as well as in the box. So could we see Lynch here try and steal that base, or will we see him see Coach Kirkpatrick trying to make the hitter hit him round?
He's got some protection with the left-handed batter. Gets a big jump at. Just comes straight back to the base. So he is on high alert. Harrison Peters, that one was 122. The pitch before up to 131. So he is still registering in the 130s. Swing and a miss for Harrow to go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Josh Bond calling the pitches from behind the plate, keeping it down and away from Harrow's hands as he can push the ball into the outfield. That one looked very tight.
Yeah, great spot there from Harry Peters. Bit of a bite the lip there as he turned around, wanting that spot there to get out of this innings. But we know he's going to come back with something strong here and try and get Harrow down on strikes.
2 balls, 2 strikes and 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Harrow chops at this one. Bond's got a job to do. Well, Harrow took the inside path as well, even touched for white base. But Josh Bond was good enough to complete the out. And although ACT 89ers score a run, New South Wales defence on point to shut them down and reduce the damage to just 1.
Exactly. We're going to have to see New South Wales here use the sticks here and try and get this back now. ACT being strong in the defence. Will they continue that, or will we see more runs put on the board by New South Wales?
Well, we can see that it was an error registered on the shot of Nick Norton to the shortstop. So to recap that inning, a home run to left field for Andrew Kirkpatrick, an error to the shortstop, and Nick Norton was on base. He re-enters the game. Evan Burns struck out for the 2nd time. Matt Wicken struck out for the 2nd time, and Matt Harrow grounds out to the catcher on the 2-3 play. We will go to the top of the lineup for for New South Wales in the top of the 5th inning. And Hayden Matthews had an okay game so far. A fly out to right field, a shallow flyer, and then a infield grounder to Matt Harrow on the backhand side. He laid out for that play, and Matthews beat that one out for an infield single. Attempts the running bunt to get things started in the top of the 5th inning. Has that got anything to do with confidence? He's probably below his own standards for this tournament. So far, only hitting 160.
Look, it's a bold move there, and I think it also could be because as soon as Hayden Matthews stepped in the box, oh, a little spin off the bat there. Unlucky for Hayden Matthews to go straight into the second base's glove, making the play at 1, but right off the end of the, as some would say, end of the queue there. Needs a bit more chalk and rolling back into fair territory.
Yeah, that one was foul probably by about 2 metres, and then it spun all the way into the infield. I've seen it go to the first base player before, never seen it go to the second base player.
Yeah, it did spin back quite a lot there. But back with Hayden Matthews with the bunt, could have been a strategy in the fact that he is known to be a big hitter. So when he steps in the box, not many times are the corners going to come in for a bunt. So it could have been a little bit of a surprise thing to try and catch the corners napping there.
Pete Ward's hands right up the top of the handle, but he doesn't hold back on that swing. Even took an extra step towards the pitcher. So trying to probably put off the defence, who are in tight again. We see Matt Harrow standing right next to Adam Folkard. Nick Norton at the end of the bat. Swing and pops up to shallow centre field. It's at the first change of the game. Matt Wickham's come out of the game. Jeremy Bradbury has been replaced. We'll quickly go around the ACT defensive lineup. Folkard pitching to McGovern with White at first base, Harrow at second, Byrne shortstop, and Norton at third base. The outfielders are Nussbaum and the Bradbury brothers, Jeremy and Jared at centre and right. So that change has been made. Matthew Wickham coming out of the game. Callum Beashall is the hitter, and a called strike. 2 outs, 1 strike the count on Callum Beashall. Swings and gets after this one. Chops to the left side. Didn't look too far foul to me.
No, it had to be real close down the line there. I know Beashall would have been hoping it stayed fair, but it's great eyes there by the home plate umpire, Lee Evans, again, to call that one foul.
Just having a look at the monitor to see. Looked very close to me, but a good call. We'll leave those calls to the umpire, I think. Beashall behind in the count, 0-2. Folkard fires that one in for a strikeout. And 3 quick outs. ACT are throwing the ball around. You only need 3 outs to end an inning.
Yeah, obviously wanting the fourth one there, wanting to keep going. Look, if they want to stay in the field, I'm sure New South Wales will be happy to keep hitting.
Pounding that one down, hard down ball at 129 k's an hour. So Folkard still perhaps a little bit left in the tank maybe. He threw 18 innings in the tournament. He's gone another 5 today, so 23 innings for a week isn't a heavy load for Folkard. So we may see him turn it up a notch in the closing innings of this game. Not out of it yet, but New South Wales with a pretty handy 2-run lead. Going into the bottom of the 5th inning, it is 3 runs to 1. You can see the image on screen is Harry Peters with 5 strikeouts. But it is Adam Folkard with 7 for the game.
Yeah, it is. We see both pitchers doing well here. As you said, plenty in the tank, still up around that 130 mark for their down balls. Well, I think we'll still see them going here. You know, with Folkard, though, the luxury of having the #1 pitcher in the world is you've also got the number 2 pitcher in the world in behind him. So he doesn't have to throw much because then the likes of Andrew Kirkpatrick comes on and can keep the best of teams down.
Yeah, difficult from the left side as well. Bolton Nussbaum aggressively gets after the first pitch and rocks a single up the middle. Just out of reach of Harrison Peters, but then had no chance of stopping it in the middle infield. So Hayden Matthews just gathers the ball, fires it in, and we're going to see another pinch runner. So Bolton Nussbaum comes out of the game after a single. Kyle Johnson is the runner. Interesting to see ACT now ringing in the changes. Something's got to change maybe, and so they're putting their hope into the speed of the runners.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to keep aggression there out on the bases. As we see Bradbury there shape for the bunt. Probably hoping that that ball goes down, no one covers third base, and the speed on the bases can get all the way around to third and put a running in a greater scoring position.
Kyle Johnson gets a good jump and good bunt there from Bradbury. Johnson does take off of second base, which can be a risk with elite infielders throwing it across on the occasion, but James Todd Hunter, who was covering first, his momentum was going towards the first base dugout, so he wouldn't have had a play. So Kyle Johnson safely aboard on a sacrifice bunt to Jared Bradbury, and we'll go to the top of the order for ACT and Josh White. Runner on second in scoring position. Aggressively again for ACT going after this first pitch. There's been 4 pitches in this inning so far, with 3 of those balls, or 2 of the balls going into play at the moment. 1 foul for Josh White. Runner on second. There is 1 out already on a sacrifice bunt. Lots happening here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, exactly. We see ACT starting to get a roll on here. A couple of pitches go down the bullpen for New South Wales. Could that be just precaution, or could it be that Harry Peters starting to waver here?
Time will tell. And also a response for Peters required for New South Wales to hold on to this 2-run lead, and fires that one in there at the top of the zone, maybe a little higher. Josh White leaves that one alone to go ahead of the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2020 John Reid Shield Grand Final. That one down and in for 3 balls and 1 strike. It would definitely be in the minds of both coaches for New South Wales. Both of them, they're joined at the hip, aren't they? Standing at the gate. 1 eye on the bullpen, 1 eye on the game. Josh White swing and a miss on a pitch that was down and in, 130 k's an hour, and the count goes full. So Peters going into his bag of tricks and pulling out something that's very hard to hit.
Mate, that down and in ball, it's not just going down. It's a 2-seam down ball, goes down and into the batter. So not only have to deal with that hard drop, but you've got to deal with that ball coming in at you, into your shins.
Josh White patiently aboard now. After going full, he gets a high pitch out of the zone, and he's disciplined enough to leave that one alone. And 2 runners aboard now for ACT. So a lead-off single, a sacrifice bunt, and a base on balls for Josh McGovern. 1 out. We mentioned the strength of ACT. They're usually pretty quick to respond after having a couple of runs put on them. It took a couple of innings before they did respond with a run. It was a solo home run to Andrew Kirkpatrick, but now the remainder of the order are really testing Peters here. This one getting away from catcher Josh Bond, and the 2 runners will advance. Johnson to third, White to second, both runners in scoring position with 1 out. So even if New South Wales can get McGovern, they've got Andrew Kirkpatrick on deck.
Could you see, or you wouldn't even see a walk in that situation, because next up the bat after Kirkpatrick is Nick Norton, just as dangerous. So you want to see, I know New South Wales here will want to get this batter out and stop. Oh, a hard shot up the middle there. Scores 1. Second runner coming in. Throw from Hayden Matthews. Doesn't make it in time. ACT scoring 2 there in the bottom of the 5th to tie it up, with Josh McGovern getting a safe at first.
Great shot. He smashes it up the middle. Hayden Matthews tries to get a play at home, firing it in, but there was no play at the plate. Timeout call from head coach Adam Rindfleisch. So catcher McGovern comes up with the goods. A 2-run shot in the bottom of the 5th inning to tie up the ball game. Well, we're saying it, ACT will respond, and that's what they've done. The top of the order has done the job for them. It was a solo home run to their 3-hitter last inning in Andrew Kirkpatrick. And now we've seen, well, it was Bolton Nussbaum who's at the bottom of the order. He's batting 8 with the lead-off single. Jared Bradbury advancing him with the sacrifice bunt. And then Josh White, of course, base on balls, and Josh McGovern with the 2 RBI single after a wild pitch got away from catcher Josh Bond.
Yeah, just unlucky there for the New South Wales team, but ACT showing their strength. Andrew Kirkpatrick puts that high into right field. Callum Beechel back, takes the catch there on the fence and gets that ball in quickly to stop Josh McGovern from advancing.
Great read on that ball, because Andrew Kirkpatrick smashed that one. It was a moonshot. It went so high. It was coming down hard, and Callum Beechel did get a good read on it, probably 1 or 2 steps in from the fence. Catch a speed up. We'll see Kyle Johnson return to the game as a courtesy runner for Josh McGovern. Here they come, the ACT 89ers.
Yeah, exactly. New South Wales will want to try and get this out here in Nick Norton to try and stem this flow here of runs that is happening here in the 5th. ACT turning it on strong here at the end of the game. This is a tight one now, James. Oh, Norton takes that shot high to left field. Lockie Hay tracking that ball and takes the catch there, probably right on the fence, just out of our view here in the commentary box, but does get New South Wales out of that innings with 2 runs to damage though.
3-4 hitters for ACT, hitting long, high balls, but caught at right field and left field respectively, and they probably get out of jail a little bit there with the runner on base. And all the momentum with the ACT hitters. They've managed to bring back that 3-run lead and tie up the ball game. New South Wales now, can they respond?
The pressure now on the New South Wales team to try and get some more runs on the board to get on top. 2 innings to go. With the pitchers going this hard through the game, you know, if ACT don't get the next couple of runs, we could see this game go to tiebreaker. A good shot there on the camera there of the area down the line, the bar area of Stockport, New South Wales here. A lot of people in the crowd cheering these teams on. Saw a lot of the New South Wales boys down there. I see a lot of the WA, Queensland boys. A few down there from a local club team, the United Bears. Good to see they're showing their support of the Bash Brothers and all those boys cheering on this ACT and New South Wales team. A few thoroughbred boys I saw down there, so thoroughbreds represented well here at the ballpark today.
Yeah, formidable side, the thoroughbreds. They travel around and play in a few tournaments around the country, and James Todd Hunter is not one of the thoroughbred guys. He is leading off for New South Wales. Adam Folkard into his motion and fires that one in there for a called strike. 7 strikeouts to Folkard in the game, 6 strikeouts to Peters. after 5 complete innings. We have seen the batters coming into their own a little bit into this game now. It's no longer that pitching duel that a lot of people were anticipating, a low-scoring game. I did say at the top of the game that New South Wales will probably need about 5 or 6 to be in this game, and ACT have showed why, because they are so strong offensively and defensively.
Obviously, Coach Ryan Flesh here wanting a good outing here from James Hunter, wanting to get him on base and start this roll on for New South Wales. Folkard pitching around him here, does take the count to 2-1. See what he comes back with now.
Well, Todd Hunter's seen a lot of pitches in this game so far, but not much of a return, a strikeout and a ground ball to second base. So he'll be looking to impose himself into the game. That one down and in to go into a great hitters count, 3-1. He'll have 2 opportunities to get bat on ball and or lead off base on ball. So either way will be very good for the New South Wales team to come back after giving up 2 runs. Called strike on the outside edge. Todd Hunter was inching towards first base. We'll have to come back, reset, this time with a full count. So payoff pitch as Folkard gets his signal and into his motion. Todd Hunter fouling this one off. Count will remain. Bit of a chat there from the ACT infield. It is the leadoff batter in the top of the 6th inning. What do you think they would have had to say? Keep it away, make him chase?
I'm not quite sure there, but obviously a lot of knowledge there from the ACT third base, who was, you know, a few years ago, their starting catcher. The old head, the new head, trying to come in, probably give him advice. I'd probably say maybe keep the ball up because he used to be in that up ball. But also be careful, because if he does connect one of those up balls, we're going to see the runs extend here.
Great insight from special guest commentary from Dylan Crisp. In and low, but Todd Hunter good enough to foul that one off and remain in the count. The count still full. Folkard took a little off that one at 120. The pitch before 129. Expecting him to come back with a heavy one here.
Oh, he's got to come back with something heavy here. But also with taking that little bit off it does give a bit more movement to try and get it past Todd Hunter. Does watch that pitch there, the down and in ball four, getting himself on base here and starting the New South Wales innings.
Well, that brings the ACT infield in tight. We are in the top of the 6th, so both teams well aware that the next run could be the difference in the game. Head coach for New South Wales, Adam Rindfleisch, having a chat to his batter, Liam O'Leary. And the ACT head coach, Andrew Kirkpatrick, will come out and have a chat to his defence, knowing that O'Leary's pretty good with the short ball as well as the ability to hit a long ball. Coach Kirkpatrick didn't bring out his glove, so he wasn't making a pitching change, but definitely wanted to have a chat to a defence. Yeah,
some great knowledge there from Andrew Kirkpatrick. Just some great knowledge of Andrew Folkard, just trying to work out what they need to do here. As you said, we'll probably see New South Wales go to the short game here with such a close game here in the top of the 6, but a meaty part of the New South Wales lineup with their 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 hitters all great with the bat. We see Liam O'Leary shake. Gets that ball in between the pitcher and the first base. Sees himself safe at first, and Todd Hunter moving to second. New South Wales rolling here.
An infield single, a bunt, sacrifice bunt signal, is there such a thing? Was able to get over the top of first base player Josh White, and diving to his left was Adam Folkard trying to get a glove to it as well. We saw both corners in pretty tight. Matt Harrow took off for first base on the bunt. And if he was in a little bit, he would have taken a catch on that one. We can see on our monitor that a couple of the ACT players were on the deck, and it was shortstop Evan Byrne that had to do the fielding. 2 runners aboard for New South Wales. Lachlan Hay, the batter, in the box, high and outside. Lachlan Hay shakes his head. That's ball 1. O'Leary Todd Hunter, the base runners, they both have wheels. Folkhard dialing it up, 131 on that pitch to Hay.
Just going to see a bit of aggression here from Folkhard. They get the runs back, and now New South Wales putting themselves in a good position here. Lachlan Hay shows the bunt, but doesn't get the bat head around and does go foul.
Foul off and back there. 1-1's the count.
1-1 the count. Folkhard again just taking his foot off the gas for that pitch. Looked like a curveball at 116 k's an hour. So going into his bag of tricks, trying to mix up the pace a little bit, keeping the ball off the plate for Lockie Hay. High for a ball, 2 balls and a strike now on Hay. Timeout called by catcher McGovern. Wants to have a word with pitcher Folkhard because James Todd Hunter must have picked up the signals given by the catcher.
Yes, you see all runners doing that on second base now, looking into the catcher, trying to pick those signals and give the batter that little bit of an edge, especially with Folkhard here thrown in the low 130s. Any bit of advance that the batter could get is going to help.
Well, we are in the 2020 John Reid Shield Grand Final, so any help for the batters will be greatly appreciated. Lockie Hay shakes his head yet again for a ball outside the zone. 3 balls and 1 strike. Catcher Josh McGovern just checking with plate umpire Lee Evans on where that missed. Great hitting count for Hay. Opportunity for New South Wales to advance in this game. Heavy again from Folkhard. Swing and a miss from Hay, looking to pull an outside pitch. Timeout called again.
I think Todd Hunter has picked up on the signals again. So just going out, probably have a bit of a chat, change those up a little bit. Will Folkhard have a bit of a word here to Todd Hunter when he walks back? Doesn't look like it. 3-2 count here on Hay, none out. Will we see Folkhard challenging back in the zone or try and nibble that corner?
If Todd Hunter's picked up the signal pattern twice in one at-bat, is he guessing or is he just that good?
Well, I think he missed that one there.
Strikeout swinging on Lockie Hay. Probably a bit of a tongue-in-cheek comment, and Adam Folkhard gets the strikeout for the first out. So although they still look like they're in control, New South Wales, they has still get to get bat on ball against this man, Adam Folkhard, and yet another timeout called for ACT.
Could this be a talk about possibly walking Mitchell Brownlow? Is quite a formidable batter. It will load the bases, but it does bring up the bottom of the New South Wales lineup with King with 2 strikeouts and Josh Bond with a double and a strikeout. It will the play at the plate, the one to go to. Could this be a tactic, or are they just going to say, let's keep the ball away from Mitchell Brownlow here?
Well, Brownlow has shown the goods with the bat in this final series. He had a double against Queensland earlier today. He hit a home run, and they have intentionally walked Brownlow. Great pickup and good call, and the special comments coming from Dylan Crisp. Reading the mind of the ACT lineup, and to counter the intentional walk, which would have brought shortstop Ryan King up to bat, New South Wales are going to a specialist hitter in Aiden Cajun.
Yes, Cajun here, a switch hitter. So with the right-handed Adam Folkhard, we will see Cajun go from the left-hand batter's box. But Cajun does come from a pedigree family, being the cousin of Travis and Joel Southam. Joel being a great switch hitter, so maybe he's learned something from his cousin and can bring that here into the game.
Yeah, Aiden Cajun can hit power from both sides of the box. It looks very comfortable here. Adam Folkhard pitching for ACT, and Cajun swing and a miss on the first pitch. It's loaded bases. It's the top of the 6th inning, and it is 3 runs apiece to the 2 grand final teams, ACT and New South Wales, battling it out for supremacy in the Open Men's National Championships. Both states have won 2 national championships over the last 4. ACT are reigning champs. It's gone back and forth amongst these 2 states over the last 4 years. And there is nothing between the 2 sides at the moment.
No, exactly. You're right, James. Close ball game here, and even over the last couple of years, being close, usually only 1 run in it. Getting on top here of Aiden Cajun quite early with 2 quick strikes. Will we see him come back here in the zone, or will he try and get him to chase something out?
Loaded bases, 2 strikes, just up and out of the zone. Looked a little close to leave. You don't want to put that into the hands of the umpires. You want to have your own destiny in your own hands, but Cajun good enough to leave that one alone for ball 1 ball, 2 strikes. You'd think any piece of the ball and Todd Hunter will be looking to score, even if it's the infield. He's got to take off on the pitch though, so he gets a big lead off. Josh McGovern has a look at the runner, and timeout is called. A bit of cat and mouse there between McGovern and Todd Hunter. Todd Hunter still hasn't returned back to his base fully yet, having a word to third base Nick Norton and third base umpire Damien McCauley. The play hadn't finished and McGovern was asking for timeout.
Yeah, it's probably trying to stop the run there and making sure nothing happens. Even though he wouldn't have run in that situation, just Josh McGovern being very safe there.
Not wanting to risk a throw over. We see Josh Bond come up to bat, so it's 2 out now. Another timeout called. Is this going to become an issue in the game? Do you think that plate umpire Lee Evans going out there to have a word to them both now? Yeah,
probably just making sure they keep the game rolling. We want to keep this going, stay on schedule here. But obviously the New South Wales runners there at second base picking up the signals from Josh McGovern quite quickly, and him having to constantly change them.
Josh Bond up to bat. A double and a strikeout in this game already. Folkart deals, swing and a miss from Bond. The cat and mouse continues with James Todd Hunter just being a little bit of a menace on third base. As you said, he's probably not looking to run, but he's off base long enough just to be in the back of the mind of McGovern. Perhaps that's the ploy to maybe get a missed throw back to the pitcher, high and out of the zone for 2 strikes. And you can see how careful McGovern is throwing that ball back to the pitcher. So maybe Todd Hunter is getting in the back of the mind of McGovern, but Folkard not risking it either, coming right out of the circle to take that ball back from McGovern.
Yeah, exactly. James Todd Hunter, as you're saying, just trying to, get in the mind of McGovern there. A bit of a slap of the glove there, McGovern wanting that spot there on the outside corner. Probably wasn't happy with that one, but no emotion there shown from Lee Evans.
1 ball, 2 strikes, a good leave from Josh Bond. Infield right on their toes. They know if the ball comes to them, they've just got to play the easy out. With 2 out, and Folkart fires that one in there. He had a little bit extra on it with the grunt. High and out of the zone. Strike 3 on Josh Bond. And the ACT deny New South Wales, although they threatened with loaded bases. We saw that intentional base on balls on Mitchell Brownlow. Aiden Cajun came in for a pinch hit strikeout, and it was in fact back-to-back strikeouts for Folkard on Josh Bond. 3 of the last 4 batters striking out with Lockie, including Lockie Hay. But it was New South Wales applying heavy pressure. A base on balls to Todd Hunter, a bunt that cleared the infield that was in tight from DP Liam O'Leary. And then it was an intentional base on ball of Mitchell Brownlow, the 3 base runners, and 3 strikeouts from Folkard to deny New South Wales and to take that strikeout tally up to 10. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a tied ball game. ACT with the advantage of batting second as the home team, the first team to qualify for the final, and that was after a 10-0 defeat of Queensland. So just a short delay here. Was Josh Bond was the last out. He's the catcher.
it's also probably we'll see this is going to come down to what pitcher wavers first here. Both of them staying strong, both with a high strikeout count. But we've seen later in the game, Harry Peters just wavering a little bit. Folkard's brought it back after that second innings run there from New South Wales. Will we see New South Wales make a change? Will we see Harry Peters stay strong here through this game?
Evan Byrne aggressively gets after the first pitch and will put the ACT in the lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. A solo home run. He got all of it. It was up and out of the zone. And he took it with him, pulling the ball to centre left field. Evan Byrne, a home run, and you would say now that ACT have the game in their hand, just maybe one hand on the shield. A 1-run lead in the bottom of the 6th.
Yes, great shot there by Evan Burns, bringing back ACT into this game, putting him in front by 1. New South Wales going to have to stay strong here, get out of this innings and try and use those sticks.
Well, Harry Peters had the best of Evan Byrne up to that point in the game. 2 strikeouts, and on his 3rd plate appearance, Byrne wasting no time getting after the first pitch, and a solo home run to give the ACT the lead. Harry Peters gets straight back to work, firing that one hard into the zone on Jeremy Bradbury, who's having his first plate appearance of the game, coming in for Matt Wickham. We saw him go to centre field after Matt Wickham's last turn at bat. Jeremy Bradbury, 1-1 the count, has both forearms bandaged up, gets a piece of this ball, it's down and in, goes across to James Todd Hunter at second base and gets it across in time for the first out.
Yes, Pete Ward's there having to bit of a hot step there and try and keep that foot on the base from the throw there from Todd Hunter, but easily taken there at second base. Brings the play, pinch hitter here, uniform number 73, Matt Jones, coming into the game here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, Matt Jones has had about half the game time as the regular starters. He's been okay, 250 batting average with a 368 on base average. Has hit a home run and a couple of walks to go with a few RBIs, and he is replacing Matt Harrow. So ACT going for a little more experience. Harrison Peters firing that one, just missing the outside edge. So well left from Jones. 1 out, and the count is 1 ball. Gets him jammed up inside. Petey Wards will comfortably take that one, backing back. James Todd Hunter was there to cover as well, but Peter Wards had that one covered the entire time off the bat. Bolton Nussbaum is the new hitter. We'll see a re-entry. ACT assistant coach Emma Helsden making the change at the plate with plate umpire Lee Evans. Nussbaum led off the big inning where they scored 2 runs with a single to centre field, and then they brought in the pinch runner in Kyle Johnson. Just double checking that one with you, Dylan.
Yes, Kyle Johnson did come in for the pinch run. Was that a mistake there? Because Nussbaum did go out in the field.
No, we saw Kyle Johnson go out to left field, so he had the opportunity to get an inning in. But I see where you were going with that, because he has been in and out of the game a little bit, seeing as he's had a runner and now back into the game. But no damage done here for New South Wales just yet. There's 2 strikes on Nussbaum, who leaves that one down and away. No damage since the home run, of course, to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 out here on Nussbaum. That one's in there for a called strike, the 3rd out of the inning. And we are going to go into the top of the 7th inning, the final inning of the 2020 John Reid Shield Grand Final for the Australian Open Men's National Championship. New South Wales with the work put in front of them right here and right now. They need to score 1 run. They're at the top of the order, but they have to face this man, Adam Folkard.
Yes, James, this will be it for New South Wales. Having to come back now, as you said, the pressure will be on, but Folkard probably being in a lot of these situations over his time as a pitcher. Will the ice in the veins stay there, or will New South Wales get on top and get a roll on? Looks like both Coach Ryan Flesch's looking at their little lineup sheets, having a chat to the scorer in Sue Frost. Maybe some changes here to try and change things up in the top of the 7th for New South Wales.
Well, while we get the opportunity, we just want to thank Softball Australia and all their partners for helping us to bring the live coverage of the 2020 John Reid Shield Final and the final series. Great live stream throughout the entire week provided by Softball New South Wales as well. They've done a great job in hosting this event on less than a week's notice when the air conditions were too low to host a tournament in Canberra. So thanks to Softball New South Wales as well. Congratulations to all the teams participating in the under-14s competition that was also played this week, and also the men's teams that have travelled to New South Wales to compete in the 2020 John Reid Shield. The last 2 teams battling it out here, right now. New South Wales versus ACT. We are in the top of the 7th. New South Wales got out to an early 3-run lead. They are now trailing by 1. They're down to their last 3 outs. And this man, Adam Folkard, is pitching for ACT. Hayden Matthews is the game's original leadoff hitter. Has got himself into a good count. It's 3 balls.
Just on those thanks there, James, we also want to say thanks to Macarthur Softball Association here in New South Wales for being flexible and allow us to move that 14s tournament over to Macarthur, so those young boys, the future of our game, can still play. Great plate discipline there from Hayden Matthews, getting the walk. This brings to the plate uniform number 83, Peter Wards, who's been so reliable through this tournament, but just with the shift here of the ACT infield playing on his mind, struggling a little bit in this game here, James.
Yeah, he'll know he's got a job to do, and that's to put the ball down. That's exactly what he does. Nick Norton has to rush across and take it on the first base line. Normally the first base player probably would have had the play there, but they've got the second base player in tight. So beautiful placement from Peter Wards. He did all he could to get himself safe, as well as advancing Hayden Matthews across to second, successfully completing the sacrifice bunt, and Callum Beashel is the hitter.
Yes, bringing Callum Beashel to the plate here. New South Wales with a runner in scoring position. I know Coach Ryan Flesch is going to either try and score that run here or try and move him across to third base into a greater position. Callum Beashel with a lot of speed here in the box. Will we see him try and put a bunt down? A nice swing there at the first pitch, but just because he swung at that one doesn't mean the bunt's out of the question here.
Yeah, Callum Beashel, a versatile player. You'd think he's a complete player. Actually, he can play a short game. He's got wheels as well, but he can also hit a line drive, as he did his first turn at bat for the first hit of the game. Line drive straight back to pitcher Folkard. Gets a piece of this one. Nick Norton captures Hayden Matthews in no man's land. He slides in to try to avoid the tag, but he's run down by the ACT defense. Just to recap that play, Nick Norton took a sharp hit off one bounce, saw that Matthews was off his base, threw it across to second base player Matt Harrow on the good cover. Evan Byrne backed in behind Nick Norton and was able to complete the play. Callum Beashel is the runner on first base. There's 2 out. Timeout called from head coach Adam Rindflesh. New South Wales down to their last strike.
Yes, that'd be a sure sigh of relief there to get that runner out of scoring position for ACT. Folkard feeling a little bit of relief there. New South Wales still dangerous with a runner in on base here at first base with Callum Beashel, and the ever dangerous James Todd Hunter to the plate.
New South Wales down to their last out in the 2020 John Reid Shield Final. It's about this time of game that you look at the contributions for the player of the match. A player of the final will be awarded after this game, along with the other individual award winners for pitching award, batting award, and MVP, as well as the Rookie of the Year. Well, for mine, you can't go past the home run hitters. However, there's been 4 of them.
Yes, there has. Good shots there from both teams. But you also can't look at...
Just hold you there, Dylan, a pop-up. Catcher getting under it. The catch is taken. The game is won. A little bit of miscommunication between White and McGovern, but it was McGovern that took the catch. ACT trying to create a dog pile. They're going to sandwich each other against the fence. A great catch taken, a foul fly from James Todd Hunter to end the game. ACT 89ers are your 2020 national champions. Back-to-back championships for the ACT 89ers, a game that had it all. New South Wales scored 3 runs early in the game to take a lead, and grinding it out for the remainder of the game. ACT pegged them back 1 or 2 at a time, and eventually running out winners 4 runs to 3.
Yes, great job there from ACT at the end of the game to come back, staying in it the whole way. Unfortunately for New South Wales, just a few things go wrong in that last innings and it ruins their momentum. Great take there from Josh McGovern against the fence, diving, almost letting the ball go, and the elation from the ACT team coming in with that dog pile, just proving how close this game was, and it wasn't just a walk in the park. James, it's been great to be up here with you through this game, and it's great to see some great softball played here.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us, Dylan, Crisp. It's been a pleasure having you here, and a pleasure to be able to call the final series here of the 2020 John Reid Shield. The stats going up on the scoreboard showing Adam Folkart 116 pitches, top speed of 133, 3 batters walked for 10 strikeouts. He gave up those 3 runs in 1 inning, but shut out New South Wales for the remainder of the game. Hands are on heads over there at the New South Wales team huddle. Hugs all around, some high fives for the ACT 89ers. Thank you so much to everyone who's been watching at home, to Croc Media, who's brought the production here, Softball New South Wales for hosting. This has been the 2020 John Reid Shield for the Australian Open Men's National Championships, won by the ACT 89ers. Well, that'll just about do it for us here in the broadcast. Stick around, we might see some images of the closing ceremony for the under-14 boys and Open Men's. It's been James Harris and Dylan Crisp. Good afternoon.
Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Thanks so much, James.